Tales from the Black Butterfly, the Coterie Chronicles is a TTRPG live play game using Vampire The Masquerade V5 as the base system. Some rules have been modified to fit the story being told and the world being built. This story is told by a bunch of friends trying to have some fun. We care more about having fun than whether we are actually following the official rules accurately, and as such, we'll bend, break, or even modify some of the rules to make things run smoother and a little more fun for us. Tales from the Black Butterfly may contain mature themes, including but not limited to body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, power imbalances, sexual themes, and social injustices. Please watch at your own discretion, and remember to take a break if needed. Consent forms have been signed by all of our players, and we use a visual and vocal check-in system as well. With that being said, please enjoy the show. Hello, Kindred. How are we this evening?
Upset. Get inside.
I tasted none, and it won't stop giving me heartburn.
We pick up 1 day later. Each of you, please, needs to make me a rouse check. That is a 10 for Elizabeth.
I got a 10.
That is a 10 for Ottilie. That is a 7 for Dee. Sammy, was that a pass?
A success, yes.
And a 1 for Valerie, who takes a point in hunger.
First point of the day. Woo! So this is exactly what we want. The elder stuck hungry.
We also have 1 point of housekeeping before we get started with tonight's session. Because at the end of our last session, I told you that you had all taken 2 stains for the events, the exception of which is Dee and now Ottilie. Ottilie only takes 1 because the draining of the nun was a mercy killing, and she did it as a way of embracing the humanity, and because the nun had pretty much asked her to. That being said, she did still kill, so she takes 1 stain. And I will remind you, each 4 stains that you take, you lose a point of humanity. If you look in our Discord channels, the more humanity you lose, the more bestial you become. There are rules outlining that as to how one should act with each loss of point in humanity. We open tonight, 1 day later. You have all found your way back to your rooms. The power on the boat is still off. The engines are still not moving. That being said, there have been emergency lights brought into the cabins. The ship guests have been rounded up and put into their rooms and told not to leave until the okay is given. There's a heavy air that hangs over the ship tonight. You can almost cut the tension with a knife. The guests know something is wrong, and there have been rumors circulating as to what has happened. The crew, from what you can see, look terrified. Absolutely terrified, as 3 of their shipmates
3 of their shipmates have now shown up dead. As we open tonight, it is also worth noting one other major incident in the last 24 hours. After the incident in the bookstore, Grace has not spoken a word to Sammy. Cold shoulder and silent treatment every time Sammy has tried to interact with her. She'll talk to the rest of you begrudgingly. Which is where we open the floor tonight for our players, our coterie, to see what you make of events tonight, what you make of the situation you seemingly have found yourselves in, and how you deal with whatever issues might arise.
I still don't know what happened to me.
You, my dear D, don't have any memories of that time period. It's like time just stopped for you. Your memory is blank. You were in the back hallways, the interior of the ship, the rest of your group, retreating into the bookstore, and then moments later, seemingly, found yourself in your bunkhouse with your coterie members. Between that and now, you have no idea what happened.
Dee just has this look of confusion on her face as she's sitting in the common area, as if she's trying to remember something that she's forgotten, but it's exceptionally concerning for her as she can't figure out what it is.
Just for storytelling purposes, do we remember Dee coming back to the cabin with us? Did she just appear when everything went okay? Or did she, appear in the morning kind of deal? Walk of shame style?
As far as you know, Dee was with you in the back hall, retreating into the bookstore. But she was waiting in the room when you arrived.
Ottilie is going to look at Dee and just be like, I'm going to need you to check your pockets, make sure that nobody has done anything, because after what we just went through, yeah, check your pockets, see if you have any notes or riddles or anything weird, and I am going to start punching at shadows just in case there's a random blob in here.
Oh, a what? Also, and Dia's gonna start checking her pockets and whatnot. What about a blob? What? I know that we were
So
what happened between the library and here?
I'm realizing now how we're still needing to catch up in everyone's education. We ran into there's a La Sombra running amok on the ship, and for some reason, she's set on fucking our vacation over. And, Val is gonna kind of she's oddly normally where she would be more detached from you guys, she's actually right next to Ottilie, just kind of there. for whatever reason, unfortunately, this vile vacation ruining creature killed a friend. Well, I guess technically Ottilie, you do not blame yourself for this. And you know that if I would have been there, if I would have been on the other side of that door, I would have done it for all of you. But
I'm gonna have religious heartburn for days, worse than the wafer incident.
What?
Probably.
It's rude. Rude. So, we didn't know, but Sister Mary Clarence was here. She's not here anymore. On the plus side, the boat's still standing.
You just see Elizabeth, like Lady Macbeth style, like even though her hands have been washed like 20 times, just continuously just like rubbing her hands together. Like kind of dissociating into the void, but also kind of still listening.
So a giant shadow blob named Darla decided to, I guess, put a bomb on the boat, and then separated us and told us to find the key before the bomb went off. And Val was nowhere near us because that's where the wall was. Val was on the side that needed the key to stop the bomb, and it turns out that the blob of Darla put the key inside of Sister Mary Clarence, which is where Elizabeth and I come in. And that is also why we have a very, very angry human running around, because we tried to avoid killing the nun, but in the end we had to. And now we have a dead nun and an angry human. We have two very upset, bloodied vampires. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have holy heartburn for a while. And Val, who would have protected us from all of this trauma in like 30 seconds, was on the other side of a wall that we couldn't get past. So, yeah. And then you disappeared, and now you're here, and I'm telling you to check your pockets to make sure that Darla didn't do anything to you, but there's a blob running around named Darla that is a shadow blob. Congratulations, you're not baptized.
I assume Darla is the aforementioned La Sombra.
I'll be honest and say that most of this is conjecture, and I've yet to be able to actually confirm it, but all evidence, and judging by the grandiose show, which I'm assuming the reason we're on the boat is the only reason why we're not breaking any sort of masquerade right now.
As you mentioned, this grandiose show, Valerie. Yes, you know what? Yes, Dee.
Dee is still checking her pockets. And also, like, checking her, basically she is checking every part of herself, as she had been listening to Ottilie's explanation as to events that unfolded, because now she is concerned as to whether or not something was stuck inside of her instead of pockets.
There is a piece of paper crumpled up in your left pocket.
I pull out the piece of paper. What does it say? As I uncrumple it.
Looking over this piece of paper, all it simply says is, I hope you like my present. Which is about the time all of your phones ding with a text notification.
Wait, there?
Your phones still show the no service.
Ah, crap.
I have a growing disdain for this century.
Checking phones.
It comes from an unknown number.
Of course it does.
The game's not over. The next is for D.
You could
that's
visibly
good.
see her hackles get raised and her hair flew slightly.
It knows all of us, so Shadow Blob knows us all for some weird reason. Forgot to mention that part.
Also, this... I hope you like my gift. What? What?
I'm going to grab that piece of paper and we're going to see if we can get a reading off that bitch.
Everybody needs to make me a wits plus awareness roll first.
A wits plus what?
Awareness. Difficulty 4. Elizabeth has landed at 2. Ottilie has landed at 2. We're off to a great start tonight. That's a 2 for Sammy. That is an 8 for Val.
Can we put it all together?
By the way, how does a person recover willpower? I think it's near the beginning of the next day, right?
Pretty sure it's at the beginning of the next day. One moment while we look into those rules, please.
Yeah. I spent some last time.
Still waiting on D's roll. That is a 4 for Valerie and for D. The answer to your question for willpower, 3 rouse checks in a row to recover 1 superficial point of willpower. Those of you that got 4 and above for your wits plus awareness, you feel that tightness in your chest, almost like anxiety or kind of like an overwhelming sense of dread pressing literally right into your chest, not letting go, almost tightening its grip. Except this time, as opposed to last time, it's worse, as that anxiety seems to spike, shooting pain throughout your body.
Oh, great.
Do I
Panic
know what
attacks.
this is?
Lovely.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah, like, do I recognize what's causing this feeling?
It feels like anxiety. Feels like a very, very strong panic attack. From somewhere off in the distance, you can hear a growl. And a moment later, followed by screams.
Do we recognize where the screams are coming from?
Somewhere on the ship.
No one
I'm
leaves this
gonna-
room. And I'm going to snatch that piece of paper out of her hands and we're going to use spirit touch.
I'm going to use heightened senses to try to pinpoint where exactly that those sounds are coming from.
Yep.
If it's
One moment.
at least on our... Yeah.
We have a spirit touch to deal with. You don't get anything from the paper. There's not even a block. You just don't get anything. There's nothing there to get. As for your heightened senses, I'm assuming you're using hearing?
Yeah. And, like, I will kind of poke around our area, but, like, going towards, like, window and going towards our door to just try to figure out, okay, where are those sounds coming from? Is it our floor, our hall, or above us or below us, what have you?
Wits plus awareness, please. difficulty 3.
I made those rouse checks. I failed 2 of them, so I get willpower, but 2 hunger, right?
Yes, you regain a superficial point of willpower, but you trade off for 2 points in hunger. You're feeling a little peckish. What's up
By
what
the
you at
way,
for hunger?
3.
I like the odds. Yes, Valerie.
Spirit Touch also required a rouse check, which I also failed. So that's 2 points of hunger now.
Excellent. Thank you for keeping tabs. That is a 3 for D's Wits plus Awareness roll. Excellent. You channel your senses a little bit, kind of focusing in on them. Focusing specifically in on your hearing, trying to figure out where that sound's coming from. You can't quite tell where the growling and the screamings come from, but you can hear to either side of your room and what appears to be the private courtyard that you guys have with the other patrons who have paid for rather luxurious accommodations. You can hear doors opening and people kind of muttering or talking in the hallways, almost as if they're curious.
And this is like our hallways, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, it seems like a lot of the noises right now are coming from our floor hallway, but it doesn't seem like it's the screams. It's like people wondering what's going on.
When you hear that growl coming again, it's faint, almost like it's a few floors below you.
Okay, I don't know where the growl came from the first time, but right now it's a few floors below us.
Personally, I'm more worried about shadow blobs than I am growls right now.
What if they're the same thing right now?
And
Ottilie is going to walk up to a random corner that is shadowed and just throw a punch and walk back. Just in case. Just in case.
there's nothing there, Ottilie. Dee, however, can hear what appears to be male voices telling people to stay in the rooms, and then a moment later, footsteps heading towards the direction of the stairs.
Okay, so there's some gentlemen telling people to stay in their rooms, and can I hear what direction they're going, up or down? Like, is it getting closer or going farther?
You can't tell. You can tell, however, these are not crew members from the way they're talking. Crew members of the ship have a certain lingo, and they hold themselves to a certain they hold themselves to certain standards and language when dealing with guests.
Yeah, these aren't staff. These guys aren't staff. I don't know. Oh god. Is it possible that there might be some gangrel on here?
There is gangrel. Me. Hi.
Yeah, no, not just you though, because like the people I just heard from a few floors below, there was some growling, and then just a few moments later, some gentleman male voices just telling people to stay in their rooms, and now they're like heading towards the staircase. I don't know if they're going to go up or down, but they're not crew members.
Lasombra are notorious for getting other people to do their dirty work for them. For all we know, this place is crawling with ghouls or who knows what.
What can growl besides, I don't know, a werewolf or a fucking gangrel?
I mean, anyone can growl if you have the ability to growl.
The
Just
kind
saying.
of growling that we're hearing right now.
I'm not hearing it.
If I was to
Does
tap
it
in,
smell
what would
like
I hear and
Bigfoot?
would I recognize it?
I'm still angry at shadows.
You want to tap in? Like, share the senses?
Not yet. Right now, I just want to listen. So heightened senses first. So we'll do that, and then we'll do a sense the unseen afterwards. We'll share the senses as the last resort on this one.
Excellent. You channel your hearing, kind of focus in on that. You feel that all too familiar sense of your hearing picking up. You hear what appears to be a bestial roar coming from somewhere in the ship. And then the sound of a man yelling. The yelling gets cut off mid-yell, and you hear a thud from a few floors below you.
Do I recognize the roar? Like, is it like a human-y roar? Is it a monstrous roar? Is it a...
It is
You know.
It is most definitely a monstrous roar. If you would like to try and identify it,
Eyes
you
woods.
are going to need to roll me, I think it's wits plus occult. You also hear a few raised voices and what appears to be gunfire before the men scream and the screams get cut short. Sorry, that'll be intelligence plus occult.
Okay, sorry, my
You're quite fine.
Chrome just crashed. So it was intelligence and occult, right?
Correct.
This is not the vacation I thought it was gonna be.
I was expecting more slide shenanigans.
So that's 5 successes. 2 10s.
5 successes, 2 10s. That is a critical success. One moment, please. Did you account for the doubled 10s?
In my count, yes, I did. And only one of those 10s was a hunger die, so...
That's a messy critical. You can feel you have that twinge in the back of your skull, the back of your head. You can feel that awareness poking through, suddenly interested. You feel a deep-seated primal urge to want to fight. You feel just It's almost like it's trying to overpower your sense of logic and reasoning, but it doesn't quite make it. You hear that all too familiar growl and snarl, and you hear one single word. Garu. That's when the intercom crackles to life. It's a little janky at first. All patrons report to the top deck. I repeat, all patrons report to the top deck. Stay away from the ship interior.
Why do I feel like we're gonna go to the ship interior?
Sam, what's your experience with Lugo?
Finally, she says something. She's just been sitting there pissed on the couch the entire freaking time. You haven't gotten anything out of her in like the not 24 hours, but technically 24 hours that she... The point is she said nothing. She looks over at you and goes, not a single blessed experience whatsoever.
Well, looks like that might be about to change.
Great.
I know your girl's not happy with you right now, but I think she needs to be located. And we need to decide whether or not we want to join the patrons on the buffet, or if we want to stay here.
Grace is in her room. I'll let you know that. She's here. She's just not saying anything to Sammy.
Oh fuck, is Grace's door closed?
Yep.
On the side note, can I do a roll to see how much I remember / know about this shit? Your Garu statement?
That's going to be intelligence plus academics, because you don't have any books in front of you. Before you can get to that, there's a knock on your door.
Nobody home.
I'll
I'm
get
not
it.
getting it. Nope.
No, we're putting big mama pants on, and I'm gonna... do we have a peephole thingy?
Yep. You look through the peephole. It's one of the ship's staff.
I'm gonna go check in on Grace real quick.
I'm gonna just scooch the door kind of just a tiny bit, just enough to like see that they see me, but that's it.
Hi. Sorry to intrude. We have a bit of a situation, and we are requesting that all of our patrons, including, unfortunately, our wealthier patrons, report to the top deck for your own safety while we deal with whatever this situation is.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna
one of the
give him
high-end guests.
I'm gonna give him my most charming, understanding smiles. Yes, we know, we heard. But as you also realize, several members of this room require specific medical needs. Our physician is just currently making sure that we have everything in order before we can join the rest of the crew.
I'm sorry, but we were told no exceptions. Anything you need will be provided for on the top deck.
We're gonna smile and command them to go. I guess I have to roll for that.
Manipulation.
Yeah, but basically tell them to fuck off.
Manipulation plus dominate, please.
So sorry. There's a lot of dice to count.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. That was a bad call.
Oh, okay. How?
Just give me one. That was a bad call on my part. Just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Charisma plus dominate. My mistake.
I like that. Makes it better for them.
Difficulty 3, which I'm pretty sure you're gonna smash through just like always.
I always smash.
Of course you do. D, you are going to check on Grace. You knock on her door. You don't get an answer. You open the door. You thought she was in the room.
Grace?
You get no answer.
She gets up from the damn couch and walks across that room.
That's an 8 for Valerie. The
Hold
ship
on, I'm about
steward.
to have a catastrophe here.
The ship's steward, without saying a word, turns around and walks away.
I'm closing the door behind him and... Fuck!
Sammy.
She goes across the room, pushes rudely past D, almost as if she's not there, pushes right past D and goes into the room.
From what you can see, Grace is not there.
Learn to be stupid from me too, fan-freaking-tastic. Thanks, Nancy True. She walks out of the room. We've got another situation.
Grace is gone.
Let me get...
That's when
Balance
Valerie.
it, gotta get...
That's when Valerie hears the quarter's doors close.
The what?
The room door, the entrance. You hear it close.
Didn't you just close the door?
She did.
And then it closed itself again?
And then the door closed again.
Summon a bitch! I'm just gonna sit on the couch. It's disrespectful.
I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna find that blobby bitch and I'm gonna kill her. I'm digging in my memories now. Can I dig into memories for the loup-garou bullshit?
Absolutely.
Would D know what a loup-garou is?
The rest of you, with the exception of possibly Sammy Redskies, who we already know doesn't have experience, the rest of you have no idea what's being talked about. This is something you haven't heard of.
What kind of roll do I have to make?
Intelligence plus academics. Nope, intelligence plus occult.
That's even better.
I was going to go the history route, but we're going to take this another way instead. Difficulty
Yeah,
7.
at this point, Ottilie just wants to look at Elizabeth. It's just going to be like, if I don't see it, it's not there, right? Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, that's where we're at, right? We're good? If we don't see it, it's not there?
Can someone help me math a little? So I have 4 10s.
4 10s doubles to 8.
Now, 2 of those 10s are my hunger die.
So that's a messy critical.
And then there's 3 other successes on top of that.
That's 11.
So there we go.
11
A messy
for a messy
11.
critical. These things are notoriously hard to kill. Like, notoriously, they have been known to rip kindred apart. They have been known to be absolutely ferocious. There are things that go bump in the night, which are you guys. These things would be the things that kindred think go bump in the night. Or at least one of them. You know the basics. Big, hulking, monstrous, wolf-like creatures. There have been a few lucky kindred that have come away from encounters with these creatures. But quite a few more have found themselves piles of dust. You do know that their weakness is...
real quick.
You do know that their weakness is silver. And you would also know that if they're on the hunt, there is very little that will stop them from trying to get to their prey, including the walls of this ship.
And how sure am I that that is what I heard?
You're having these thoughts pop through your head. You're drawing on your knowledge. You can almost feel your beast salivate over this.
So I'm like
You're pretty sure.
pretty damn sure that that we're dealing with something like this, or like that
Yep,
we're dealing with a Lugero.
Yep, and you also know that if left unchecked, it'll start tearing this ship open like a tuna can.
And I won't care if it's day or night.
Correct. Which leaves you with an issue. Because once that sun rises, none of you are of use anymore. You are inevitably the next strongest things on this ship.
Just gonna wait for D to come back before I make a declaration.
Sammy didn't hear the door close, did she?
Wits plus awareness, please.
Okay.
Difficulty 4. Because of where you are situated in the quarters. And while we're dealing with that, you hear a walkie-talkie crackle to life. The speakers, rather. Don't think you can hide in there.
If I don't see it, it's not there. Oh gosh. This is the best couch in the world.
3. I'm not going to burn a willpower for that.
Nope, you didn't hear the door close. The voice on the other end of the speaker? I wonder how well you'd fare if you knew it already had your scent.
What has our scent? What?
So Val is going to sit gently next to you, and you know how sometimes someone might mistake you for something like a werewolf?
Oh yeah, like my maker was Bigfoot, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is actually the werewolf, le loup-garou. It will not care if it's day or night. It will not care about the walls of this ship. It will tear through all of us like butter.
Okay, so question. Do I go hide in the luggage now? Or do I grab the floaties? Because either way,
You-
like, I'm just...
You need to tap into your Bigfoot. We're gonna need that.
I don't know if you realize this, I'm 4.5 feet tall, and you think I'm tapping into anything larger than a fucking cheeseburger? Nope. I can't even reach the fridge.
Sweetie, if I have to throw you at it, that's what we'll do. But you need to buck up.
I do have... I can be light as a feather.
There we
Not
go.
really stiff as a board. But I do have claws. I can open cans. If we would like to, maybe, I don't know, find it some dog food, I can come in handy.
Well, you keep thinking on that. Elizabeth, dear, I don't suppose you have any silver hanging around those wonderful tools of yours.
Just bites her lip and then goes, unfortunately, I do.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Just come with me. And just takes Val into her room. And then opens one bag. Opens another bag. Opens a third bag. Another bag. And then just gives like a little thing wrapped in a paper towel and just hands it to Val.
I can't remember. Can I touch silver? Is it just a clan thing, or is it an everyone
You
thing?
can. Nope, you can.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You would also know the reason it's probably wrapped in paper towel, or most likely. She may, unfortunately, have the downside of being allergic to it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oddly.
I'm gonna open the paper. What is it?
It's a fork.
You're gonna defeat the big bad guy with a fork.
Oddly.
Love this. Yes.
How many strength plus athletics, please? Difficulty 7.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
You know, if I hadn't been a warrior in a previous life, I'd say I couldn't do anything with this, but maybe we can do something with this. I need a pole. Is there anything like a wooden broomstick, something solid looking in this place?
Not that you can see. Not that is broken. Everything seems to be attached.
I only had 7 die for that, so I only got 5.
Oh, excellent. Before I tell you what happens next, I'm going to hold on a moment till Dee gets back. Take a quick stretch break. If you need it, grab a drink refill before we get into the fun part.
Okay, does anyone else find it funny that I'm a werewolf playing a vampire about to attack a werewolf?
Oh god.
I feel
It's ironic.
with the ST team here.
Alright, we are going to slowly dip back into scene. Thank you for bearing with me. Unfortunately, when nature calls. Probably has something to do with this coffee, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. So, Ottilie rolled how many successes? 5 out of the needed 7. Who's in the room with Ottilie?
We were in your room.
I must be alone in the room then.
Okay.
I thought we were all still in the common area.
You went to check on Gracie, and then Sammy went in there too.
Yeah, but like I never entered Grace's room. I just opened the door.
And I came back out in sheer annoyance and told you guys that we had another problem, so I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back too.
So okay, then there's 3 of us. Got it. Okay.
So, those of you that are in the room with Ottilie, see her look around for a moment, really confused, and then try to scramble out of the way and not make it. As some sort of something starts to happen to the floor. It starts to waver a little bit. Almost like the fabric of what it is being warped. Before both Ottilie and the couch disappear through the floor, and the floor solidifies.
And all you're gonna hear is
This is his face right now!
Meanwhile, Sammy runs over. I assume she's just going to run over and just, like in a dang it thing, just get on her knees and smack her fist right into the ground, knowing it's not going to do anything.
What the fuck just happened?
Our friend has the ability to swirl reality and...
yeah.
I'm assuming
At
we
least
hear
I got the
both-
couch.
Pardon?
At least I got the couch.
You would hear Ottilie just almost scream out the word fuck, but not quite reach the end. It kind of fades off. All you hear is fuck! Those of you that are physically watching her, watch her literally disappear into the floor.
And now D is going, what the actual fuck?
The speaker crackles to life again. 1 by 1. Is it? Or should I just send them up to your front door?
She looks up at the speaker and goes, "Oh, now you're ripping Agatha Christie off too! Fine, just go through everybody!"
Somebody else wanting to be a pile of dust?
You took my daughter away from me. I pretty much don't have anything to live for now.
If your relationship was that fragile, it wasn't much of a relationship to begin with.
Oh hell no.
Don't
Oh hell no,
listen
she didn't.
to her. Besides, we'll get it back.
Right. Right. You're right. This is why I didn't want to let her know about any of this.
Tick tock.
Worry about that later. Right now, concentrate on the goal. Do you have any silver on you? Preferably something sharp.
That's an interesting question. Would she? Huh.
If it's in your inventory.
It's not, so no, I wouldn't have anything that's silver in my inventory.
That walkie-talkie crackles to life. You hear Grace's voice across the walkie-talkie, yelling for Mommy before it gets cut off.
Okay. Interesting character detail. Would she ever call her Mommy, or would it just be Mom?
You don't know because you've never heard her this panicked before.
now I'm questioning it because the way that thing works could totally just be making the noise.
You're at 3 hunger?
Yeah.
Again, you feel that twinge in the back of your skull, that voice, that just predatory, cold beast. You can feel it agitated. You can feel it demanding penance be paid for touching what's yours. Grace is yours. Nobody else gets that.
Val, calm me down somehow, or this isn't going to be pretty.
Screeching of twisted metal.
You're getting... You're getting a hug. She's squeezing you extremely hard. Like an anaconda.
The screeching of twisted metal rings out in the darkness. This sounds like it's getting closer.
We should
need
probably
to
get the
go on
fuck out.
hunt. We need to go on the hunt. And she's like looking Sammy like right in the eyes. Like, we are the elders here. They don't know what they're doing. And we all have
Right.
to get out of here alive.
Elizabeth,
Agreed.
Elizabeth, please roll me a strength plus athletics.
No.
Difficulty 9.
I only have 3 die, so it's already a fail.
Sammy,
Does
Valerie,
D
and-
notice? Does
No
D notice?
strength, no
Wait.
athletics.
Does D notice anything?
Sammy, D, and Valerie, please roll me a strength plus athletics. Difficulty 9.
I've only got one, so that ain't happening.
If anyone
Right.
wants to know what's happening on my end, I'm singing Free Fallin' until we get back to me.
Free
I
bird.
only have 4 points altogether. There's no way I'm reaching a fucking 9.
Okay, so that's another 2 down. Cool, give me 1 second.
Although it was a success, at least, for my 1 die.
We'll wait for
I feel like
Valerie. We'll
the
wait
only
for-
person who could pass this is Val.
We'll wait for Valerie to tally her rolls to see what happens.
I'm not made for combat, I'm made for brains.
Valerie, what did you roll?
Somehow, I only have 1 success. I
Is that a
happen
100
to
dice?
have... No, but my ones are...
That is a bestial fail.
Has anybody ever seen so many ones?
So,
How many dice did you roll altogether?
I have 10 die on the table. And yeah, it's not pretty.
we're going to get into a bit of narration here as I take control of the field.
God, I love
With
this
the
game.
way this plays out. And before I do this, I want you all to know, out of character, that I love you all.
The nuke is about to explode, I'm sorry.
I'll start
No,
the
I
new
don't want to
character
die!
Elizabeth, you find yourself falling through the floor at first. You feel a sharp, wrenching pain in every fiber of your being before everything goes black. Dee and Sammy likewise find yourself falling through the floor, trying to get away from the ever-increasing sense of being ripped apart, piece by piece, before everything goes dark. Valerie, you feel your beast absolutely defiant roar in agony before the voice goes silent and you slip through the floor as well. Again, being ripped apart before everything goes black. Ottilie, this brings us to you, my dear.
Am I just in like 5 pieces on the floor?
No, you are not, actually. Because here's where the
Just like
here's where the fun starts.
Oh god. Okay. Let's do it.
You find yourself in a steel room somewhere in the interior of the ship. You're not sure where. The room is completely sealed, including the door, which is, despite your best efforts up to this point, unbreakable. On one side of the room, my dear, you find a hunched-over figure that looks a little furry. More than a little furry. It stands up and it looks at you with snarling fangs, its muzzle drawn back in an absolute snarl. It wants you for supper. This you would know. Being a pack animal, being a pack kindred, you would know this instinctively. Until you start seeing the dust float from somewhere up above your head. And a moment later, Valerie's necklace, the one she picked up in the hospital, drops next to you. Followed by what seems to be an unending pile of dust.
You did know. Okay. Okay.
Looking at this, and looking at the situation in which you find yourself, Ottilie,
Okay.
something snaps in the back of your head. Please set your hunger to hunger 5. You can feel your beast raging, absolutely raging, as it takes complete control of you. You hear a very cold voice in your head. You almost get the sense that it's tapping into a piece of you, a piece of what makes you, well, the piece of that humanity that you've been trying to hang on to for so long. And you just feel the fury radiating out of this. First the nun. Dee. Sammy. Elizabeth. And Valerie. Game's over. I'm done. Here's what you're going to do. That
We're
wiener
about
dog
to
on the
friends in the other.
that wiener dog on the other side of the room is about to be your lunch. You are about to have the most delicious meal you've ever had. But before you do, I have a gift for you. You feel something again snap in the back of your mind. Wait a minute. I didn't know how to do that before. I didn't... Oh, I can do that? Knowledge floods into your mind on how to use a few new abilities. Before you find yourself launching across the room and ripping this thing to shreds, absolute ribbons of flesh. The entire room is completely coated in blood. This is probably the most fulfilling meal you've had in a while, and as your hunger is sated, we're gonna pause for a sec, because I need to readjust my cameras. You finish ripping this thing to shreds, Ottilie. One moment you're in this steel-enclosed room. The next, you can feel that sense of pressure in your chest start to ease. As your eyes open and you find yourself in your room on your bed, power's on. The lights are on. You see a figure standing over you in a black and white mask and a hood. He stands there and stares at you, idly twirling the stake he's just pulled out of your chest.
Hi?
Without saying a word, he disappears. Ocean, keep your camera on, please. Well, I mean, keep it covered. You can keep it covered, but keep your camera on before he disappears.
Oh, God. Okay, so... last memories before everything. Ottilie's gonna get up, and I'm going to first check the common area. See if the couch is back.
The couch is exactly where it always has been.
Okay. I'm gonna start going room to room. I'm gonna start with Elizabeth's room and see if Elizabeth is in there.
You find Elizabeth lying on her bed with a stake impaled through the center of her chest. Straight through her heart. She's not moving. But you also inherently know that this wouldn't kill a kindred, it'll just paralyze them.
Okay, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pull the stake out.
Elizabeth, the last thing that you remember, everything went pitch black. You lost all sense of self before finding yourself in your room on your bed, with Ottilie standing over you as your consciousness slowly starts to fade back into... as you slowly start to fade back into awareness of the room around you and the world. She seems to be holding a stake.
And I'm gonna very hurriedly say, let's get up, we need to check on everybody.
Okay. I'll take D, you take Val.
Okay.
Both of which are in their room, lying on their beds, with a stake driven through their chests.
Pulling stake out.
Pulling stake out.
Both of you, Dee and Valerie, respectively find Elizabeth and Ottilie standing over you as your awareness starts to return. And you see them standing over you with the stake in their hands.
What the fuck?
Get to the common area. We'll talk in a sec. I'm going for Sammy.
This is
Yeah, go into the common area.
too often.
Likewise, you find Sammy on her bed with a stake impaled in the center of her chest. You pull it out, Sammy, your awareness starts to return. This not being the first time for you or Val, you are intimately familiar with how it feels to have that ripped out. It doesn't make it any easier. And it takes you a moment to come to your senses.
Where is Grace?
That's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Looking around, you find Grace also lying on her bed. Sorry, 1 second.
Please don't be staked. That one's a human.
Likewise, you also find Grace lying on her bed. She's not staked, and she is slowly breathing. Almost like she's in a trance. She's staring up at the ceiling.
I'm gonna check everything and using like all the vampire abilities to like super check everything. Is she like bodily okay? It's just she's in some sort of like mind trance?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Do you know how to fix this?
This is outside of my department.
That's actually
That's my line.
That's actually when she looks over you. Her head just slightly turns and she just blinks for a moment. You can see her take a deep breath in. Almost as if she's managed to pull herself out of it somehow. She looks over. She looks around. What happened?
That's what we're about to discuss and try to find out.
Yeah.
You can...
And she just pulls her into a hug.
She hugs you tight. You can feel the hum of the ship all around you, just like the engines never cut out. The speaker crackles to life, and you can hear a voice over the intercom. Please prepare yourselves for docking procedures. We have actually reached the end of our journey across the Atlantic and will be pulling up at pier shortly. Gather all of your belongings and get ready to disembark, please. And that's where we're going to cut the episode for tonight.
What the fuck?
I seriously thought I was going to have to roll in a character.
Same.